That's quite a hit there.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Alyssa. Oh, that's my mother.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Nice. I hope Alyssa's not listening.
I think we should bring back public executions. And I think...
Bro, who starts a podcast off like that?
I think anyone who doesn't flush a public toilet should be first up.
No. Whoever thought it would be a good idea on Fords, you know, when you get out with the car running with the key in your pocket and you get out and shut the door, it honks at the...
Those are Chevys too.
Yeah, every car does that.
But
not every car.
The Ford Edge...
Or they beep it, or they...
Beeping is okay. It's the honk that those
Ford
people should be
does a
shot
sonic
to.
boom when you get out and shut the door. It's incredible. It hurts your ear, and it's like it wakes the whole neighborhood up in the middle of the night. Who Ford thought that it would be a good idea to have a sonic boom go off when you shut the door? Like do a beep.
It's like,
why can't Ford do beeps? I don't get it.
It's the same people who thought that bringing the EcoSport to America would be a better idea than the Puma. It's the same person.
Should be publicly executed.
Okay. I agree.
Was there pee in the toilet? Is that what you're...
No.
There was more than...
But it did make me think of that.
Oh.
And I think I'm not a terrible person. I think it should be a 3-tier, like three strike policy. Okay. Pretty much, if you're found guilty of leaving the toilet unflushed or creating a triple beep honk on a vehicle, that's your first strike. You get notified that you do this 2 more times and you will be killed.
Does that count for how many cars are actually produced?
No, it has to be a separate, let's say a separate model year. So if you create that on a 2020 Ford and 2021 model year rolls around and it's still like that, then that's your second strike. And then third, there's no trial. Nothing. It's if it's proven that you did this thing, either didn't flush a toilet for the third time. I just don't understand how I've seen people in airports, other public venues, go in, pee, and depart.
And they don't wash their hands either.
Well, I honestly, I could care less about the washing your hands than I do about the peeing.
No, for me, it's the other way around.
Really? Yeah. You'd rather than wash their hands? All right,
I think it's equal. Because for one thing, if you pee in the toilet onto someone else's pee, you have potential of splashing their pee onto you. Or you have to go through the hassle of flushing their pee before you pee so you don't splash it on you. And then if they don't wash their hands, then you have to touch the same door going out that they did after they've touched their parts. And then they also touch other things around the airport. It's disgusting. I can't.
See, public execution.
Well, for me, it was especially important when I was going through chemotherapy that I A, didn't use urinals, and B, flushed.
Why didn't you use urinals? Because of splashback?
Well, splashback, and when you're going through chemotherapy, one, it's red because the chemo literally just goes through you, and it's extremely toxic.
So you can't have that splashing on others.
Yeah, it would burn your skin. And so you
toxic pee.
Can't use urinals because it could
get
on
punk rock band name.
Other people. And you always have to make sure it's flushed.
I had an idea for a urinal that, like, say in a luxury venue, if you're at a luxury hotel or whatever, they could have urinals that sort of mimic like a sloped bowling alley. So like it'd be like a 4 or 5 foot long apparatus, and rather than you peeing onto a 90-degree perpendicular surface, your pee, it'd kind of be like skee ball, but like pee ball, and you'd pee down and away from you, and then the end of the urinal would be like 4 or 5 feet away, and it's like. Imagine.
That's really smart.
Imagine like one of those big ski jumps that you land on, and it's a very gradual. That's how your pee would land, and it'd go away from you. It'd be like a luxury experience. Correct. No splash, and it'd be fun.
Would there also be the gentleman in there like you'd see at luxury resorts that has an array of designer perfumes in there for you to spray?
Well, yes, he'd hold it for you.
Hold what?
It.
Okay. And also the cologne afterwards.
Yes. He'd spray it on there at the same time.
Oh, he'd spray it on there. That would.
Another side note on you bringing that up. I would like, in my everyday life, to channel the confidence of the man who walks into a bathroom, goes to the urinal, and uses no hands during the process. Simply unzips.
Oh, that
stands there.
Have
you ever witnessed that?
No.
Every now and again in my life, I'll come across he's just standing there, hands on his side.
30-year-old man.
Yeah, and he just the boldness of that to just stand there and let it go.
And he's always a father of 3 usually.
Well, probably because he has to like push, so he's like.
Oh, so you're saying that the hands are actually an element of the
push.
the strain?
This channel has taken an interesting turn.
That's
Well-
okay. Sometimes you got to switch it up a little bit and talk about pee.
Well, if you want to make a bridge into the car topic, I think one of the Jalopnik fellows. Which side note, did you hear everyone at Jalopnik's on strike?
No, I'm not surprised though.
Yeah.
After
Why
meeting
is
one
that?
of the employees on one of my trips.
Apparently, the working conditions are shit.
They
But most of the Jalopnik people have left. David Tracy's left. Patrick left a while ago. There's another. A few of the main people have left. Torchinsky left. But anyway, one of the Jalopnik fellows was thinking, if you had to road trip for a long time, say you were doing a cannonball run or whatever, what's the best way for a male or any individual with a thing down there?
Okay.
What's the best way for them to urinate and then continue without stopping driving? And they actually devised a mechanism where they would take a condom and attach it to a pipe, if you will, with a storage apparatus on the floor, and then just wear it. And then it was like an outside catheter, if you will.
This
Okay.
is a very pleasant podcast.
Yeah, I hope you all are starting your Tuesdays off.
Have
well.
you ever gone into a bathroom at like a little bit of a swanky venue or like a club, and there is literally a guy that stands in the bathroom simply to watch all of the designer cologne? Have you ever?
I've never
witnessed that.
No, I'm not as fancy as you.
Well, I'm not either, because I went into one once, and I just I saw this cologne on the counter, and I just started to grab it because I was like, oh, this is a really nice place. They probably just let you have it. And the guy damn near slapped my hand. He was like, because there's like a little tip jar. You're supposed to put a couple bucks in there. If you
Oh,
wanna,
and then-
you put like $5 in, and you can spritz yourself with the latest Gucci, whatever. But
Well, if it's for your ball sack, it should just be called the Gooch. Well, Chris,
they should do a sub brand of that, huh?
you're clearly fancier than all of us because you are wearing a Shrek Supreme hat.
This is actually my girlfriend's hat, but I took it today because I'm trying to wear a different hat every time I'm on here, and I think I've run out. This is like my last one.
Well, shout out to Emily for hooking
thanks,
you up
Emily.
with the Shrek Supreme.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to start wearing things that aren't actually hats as hats.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start having like bandanas and sweatshirts and
Tires.
shoes.
A tire. That's an
Yeah.
interesting one.
Lampshades. Yeah, you're gonna really have to start getting creative.
That's like the lampshade thing. That's like a drunk party thing, isn't it? Lampshade on the head.
Well, hey, every DM podcast, it's a drunk party, pretty much.
True.
Episode 11 of the Daily Motor Podcast. Welcome, one and all. It's already toasty in here. I'm already sweating.
The GoPro's getting ready to overheat.
Yeah, it's got to be damn near
Yeah,
75.
It's probably
They have a
78. Do you have the
thermometer?
thermometer? He
Yeah.
does. He's getting it.
Because we have started. Well, no one can hear me right now, but
They can hear. I can hear you. Oh, I only have one. Oh,
where's my thermometer?
Nathan unplugged my headphones so I could see what it was like to be in his world.
I'm missing my thermometer. Did I leave it in the press car? That'd be sad. Maybe I took it out at home.
Well, we haven't been driving a Subaru for a while though.
Subarus, if they're bad.
Cars recently. I think I'm gonna open a window. It's quite warm.
All right.
Oh, it's snowing.
Why?
Apparently, I'm not gonna open a window. They've removed the window opening apparatus.
Just turn it with your hand.
You got a little bit of ASMR going
You
on.
can't turn this with your hand. It's
Yeah,
like-
you can.
No, you can't.
For God's sakes.
You try.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
This is what the fuck? Who fucked up my? Did Nathan unplug mine? They've made it so you have to be uncomfortably
be
warm in this
hot.
podcast studio.
Yeah. I like the chaotic vibes today. I'll just roll my sleeves up.
Yes, but I'm warm. You rolling your sleeves up is not going to help me.
Roll your sleeve.
At
You
least
have
I'm wearing
a
two
you have a
layers.
button down shirt on. Just take it off. Like, well,
But I like the aesthetic.
half
going-
the people can't see you though.
That's true. Nah, statistically,
Well, actually,
more
statistically,
than half
3/4 of
Or
the people can see you.
can see. Correct.
Same old lines.
Nathan's going t-shirt.
Yeah. Let's see how many pieces of
See,
we can
I'm
play a
gonna
strip
I'm gonna leave
podcast
this
today.
on because I wanna rep our friends over at Downshift and wear their hoodie.
I also think I forgot to put deodorant on last night.
Last night, you put it on at night. That's interesting.
Well, I took a shower last night. I put it on after I
okay.
take a shower.
Okay. Well, still.
Ready?
Yeah.
Dude, perfect.
More like dude unperfect. Dude gravity. Episode 11.
Episode 11.
I am back from driving the Porsche. I always want to say 911 718 GT4 RS at Willow Springs.
And you can't talk about
and
it.
I can't talk about it. I can say that one was yellow and the other was gray.
Which one was yellow?
The non-Visoc package. There was a Visoc there.
There were
Magnesium
other
wheels.
colors.
Yes, there were 2 cars.
Tell me, what's the Visoc like to drive?
I can't tell you,
Really?
unfortunately. Yes.
Huh.
I can tell you that there's less unsprung weight on the Visoc package because they're magnesium wheels.
Really? How
And
does
they're
that
blue.
affect
They
the
are blue.
handling, per se?
Couldn't tell you, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate.
Yep. But tune in 2 weeks from now. Actually, for the podcast, it'll probably be 3 weeks from now, and I can report on how good
There'll
or
be a
bad
video
that
up
car
there.
was. It's probably pretty bad, so you might want to tune in to hear how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yes. Last week, we had the Toyota Venza, a car that is good, but could be
Yeah.
so much more good.
It's just weird.
It's
It's a
weird.
weird car.
It's just a RAV4 that's less practical, less intuitive, less efficient.
But quieter and nicer materials. So it's a trade-off.
and better looking.
And it looks cool. Yeah. I think it looks cool.
So pretty much, it's you either get
Well-
something that's very functional, and efficient, or something that looks good, that's just less efficient and functional.
Yeah, it's remarkable they couldn't do both.
I like some of the unique touches on that car, and I mentioned in my review. I guess I don't really think that it looks cool, but it looks unique enough where in its market it stands out because it looks like it's from like 5 years in the future.
I have decided that the sunroof that can turn opaque, or not opaque,
Yeah.
translucent is
Yep.
stupid.
Oh,
Why?
why?
Because what's the point?
It's a gimmick. You can impress your passengers with it.
That's the only purpose.
I like
and
it.
I'm not paying $1,800 for a gimmick.
Is it that much money? That's
It's-
kind of
it's a good
expensive.
amount of
They
money.
should just
That's
put it on
ridiculous.
all of them.
They should either put it on all of them for free or not have it.
What's wrong with having
think
a
it's
cover
cool.
that comes over the
There
thing?
is a cover.
There is one.
That's the thing. That's why it's unnecessary, because you have essentially 3 options. You have translucent, transparent, or opaque. You
Well,
can
that's
pick between all
fine.
3. But who's going to choose translucent?
If you're...
Who wants some light, but not all the light?
I liked
do.
the sunlight. I liked some
I
of it
do.
because
It
then it
makes it
wasn't
brighter
blinding.
inside.
It's bright in there, but it's not hot or blinding.
And
And
if your window's dirty up top,
Oh, yeah.
you can still have light but not be disgusted when you look up.
Well, I'm glad it exists for some people, because I would not pay for it. I would get it in the Mercedes or the
well,
McLaren.
Charlie, to be fair, you don't like a lot of options on a lot of cars. You
You're right.
expect
I like
most of your stuff to be basic.
to be fairly basic.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. In fact, I like my Maverick for all the things it does not have.
You should love my
except a
Explorer
leather
then.
steering wheel.
I do. And I really don't mind the steering wheel either. And part of that's because Ford leather steering wheels are not very nice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think they like a Toyota leather feels very good in the
That's true,
hands.
soft. Yeah, Ford leather's kinda weird.
Yeah, Ford leather's just kind of like it's a little grainy, a little hard.
It is grainy.
and it's not that different from the rubber steering wheel.
It is different though.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Speaking of which, I rode in an early 2000s Ford F-150 base ass single cab truck this weekend, and I thought of you with your steering wheels, Chris.
Oh, did you remove the steering wheel from it for me?
Would have been hard for him to get out to his job the next day.
What
but,
what engine?
Oh, it must be
V6?
no, it was an 8.
Manual? Oh, so it was an automatic.
Ooh.
Yep, it was
What
an
year?
automatic. It was like the early 2000s. It's Alyssa's father's truck. Have you seen it? The white one.
Is it clean?
It's pretty clean.
Is it like the one like our dad had?
Yes.
Does it have cruise
I mean
control?
the red one?
Don't know.
The red
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
If it was the later one and had the 3-valve 5.4, then...
Right. Those are horrendous.
Yep.
Yeah, those started in 04.
Apparently, the only way to keep those not destroying themselves
Scrap
is
'em.
you have to you have to change the oil every 2,000 miles.
Yeesh.
Yeah, or just scrap it.
By the way, I was thinking that we have a 3rd-gen Focus at the garage right now that's smashed in the front, but
Yeah, we
everything
do.
runs, right? Like,
I believe so.
So really, if I feel like the best use for that car would be not to repair it,
To
but-
scrap it.
No, to
Oh.
pull the transmission and put it in a perfectly good car that has a blown transmission, because you can
Yeah.
find those all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that car.
Right. I just thought of that the other day because I'm sure you
Yeah,
can
I
find.
think it's fine. I think it's
Yeah.
like a low mile powertrain altogether. So I'm sure you could sell all the parts off of it for a good amount of money. It's also a I don't think it's a titanium, but it's a SEL. So it's got
but it's
leather.
got most of the features.
It's got like
isn't it?
it's mostly a titanium.
Right.
You just don't have like the.
Or you just find a titanium that the transmission went out on, and you swip flop, and you're good to go.
No one has any idea what we're talking about.
Toyota Venza. I struggle to answer the question, is it a good car or not? Because I'm leaning toward no. And it's a shame because it's a very nice car. And I got 37 miles per gallon and a mixture of highway and country driving. It's quiet, it's comfortable. I don't particularly love the sounds that the powertrain makes, and it's kind of all Toyota hybrid. But that still stands if we're evaluating it. Alyssa thought there were sirens going by, and it was just the sound of the hybrid powertrain. Did you notice that at all driving it? The whirs and the high-pitched noises it makes?
Maybe it's amplified from the passenger seat.
No, because I noticed it as well from the driver's seat. I think you and I just know what it is.
Oh,
but for her, she didn't know what it was, and she was like,
just like
there's a siren around. Yep.
Oh.
Exactly. That noise. What I think the looks are fairly subjective. I'm not a huge fan of the appearance. I think a RAV4 looks better.
I
think a RAV4 looks better too, but I think it looks good. It looks like a Lexus, which that's the thing. Go online. I was thinking, what Lexus could you get that would be the same price as that Venza?
Oh.
NX.
Yeah, an NX.
Because that Venza was what, 48?
Yeah, but no, 40.
How much did the Venza cost?
It was 40?
Yeah. Well, it was 43 because the base model Venza's 33.
Oh, so let's see.
You can have
what's the cheapest Lexus NX?
Lexus NX starts at 38.
So why wouldn't you just get a Lexus?
Exactly.
Unless you don't want the gigantic, squinty-eyed vacuum cleaner.
I mean, I would have a Lexus, but I also wouldn't buy an NX or a Venza. So
the new NX is quite good. I know you haven't driven it yet.
I haven't even been in it yet.
The 22 is quite good. That's always been the conundrum with the Avalon, though, is because once you step up to an Avalon, you're like, why don't you get a Lexus ES?
Because you can get saddle-colored steering wheel on the Avalon.
You don't think you can get that on the ES as well?
Nope.
Okay. You would know steering wheels. I've heard it said, and this is just entirely anecdotal. I don't think it's necessarily fact, but the reason the Avalon existed for so long was there are plenty of markets, think rural-type markets, that the nearest Lexus dealer is 100 miles away. But there's a Toyota dealer right by, and you've got a fine gentleman who comes in and wants their premium sedan.
Yep. Avalon.
And now I think that's where the Venza is Toyota realized they had a void in their lineup. People who didn't want to step up all the way to a Highlander had no reason for that. Again, Avalon buyer. But now the Avalon's dead, so they needed an Avalon replacement.
Venza.
Yeah, Venza. And I think that's what makes it a not good car, is they had a better car, the Avalon, and it's now dead. So
now I really hate the Venza because I know the type of buyer who's going to buy a Venza.
Yeah. It's just a lazy, old lazy person who can't be bothered to drive to the nearest Lexus dealer.
Yep.
So if you want a Venza, buy a RAV4 or an NX.
You know what's the best looking RAV4? There's this company called Mitsuoka in Japan that takes RAV4s and they make them look like a K5 Blazer. S-U-O. Yep, you got it. K-A. No, not the Orochi. That's a... yeah, there you go. Yeah, there it is.
That looks ridiculous.
Isn't it hilarious?
It is kind of wonky looking.
They've even staged it with like trying to be in California, even though it's only in Japan.
For anyone listening, it does make it. There's a lot of chrome. There's big old BF Goodrich.
It's funky.
All-terrain tires. It is funky. I gotta admit, I like it.
Neat.
Yeah.
It looks like a Cadillac X or SRX in the back.
In the back.
Look at those lights.
It's got SRX and Aztec vibes. That's for sure.
Which means we like it, kind of.
Right.
It's also has Frankenstein vibes to it because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
The middle of it's still a RAV4.
Oh God.
Its face and ass are different.
I do have to give the Venza some credit because the RAV4 is much louder and much cheaper feeling inside. The Venza feels remarkably premium, and I appreciate it for that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it can get a good car designation, at least not right now. Fix the interior storage. There's no place to put anything.
Also, I love the interior so much more on the RAV4 because you have knobs, you have buttons.
Oh yes, then the full climate control.
And you just can't put jack crap anywhere.
Well, you can also lift up the console lid, and there's a little shelf for your phone right there.
But that's stupid.
Wow.
And it's not even it's
one phone where I can't even see it.
In fact, I think I might have left something in the center console of the Venza.
That's good.
because again, there was no place to put sunglasses out and about.
I had so much
so we had to
stuff
put things
in there.
in the center console.
You know what I thought was weird is that you talked about the silly space below the climate control. The power button was right there impeding space.
Yeah.
That was very strange.
Very
I did
strange.
notice that. I was thinking, that's the weirdest place I've ever seen.
Yeah, weirdest place for an on-off switch.
It's like, why
I've
not
never
just
seen
put
any
it,
other car with it right there.
next to the steering wheel in a normal car? Yeah, like
They tried so hard to make it perfectly symmetrical and then put a big old mole right on the left side there where the
very
volume
weird.
control is,
and then
or
put that
the stop start
old,
button is.
weird, like old-fashioned style shifter right in the middle that's not symmetrical.
Yeah. So they'll probably fix it in the future, but
Also, they just, I don't like cars where it looks like they just tack the screen on.
yeah, I know a lot of people have problems with that as well. So Venza, not a good car.
Medium car.
0 out of 5.
Smoking mid.
Mid.
Other car we had this week, the Sierra 2500 HD Duramax diesel crew cab, 6.6 liter
V8 motor.
testosterone edition.
That thing did burnouts.
That
That was a
truck was
thick
pretty sweet.
unit.
910 pound-feet of torque.
Did you brake torque it at all?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the whole thing like twists itself when you brake torque it and then it's just
Did you launch it?
Nope.
it's
Chris, how could you properly review 910 pound-feet of torque
Okay,
without
you should
launching?
bring up
I
my
launched it, but I didn't brake torque it. I just
That's a launch.
bring up my 0 to 60 short on that. Just so we can show Chris what it's like.
I didn't drive that truck much. I just like it was so big and like I don't know.
DM shorts. I don't like doing a lot of videos like this because people are trying to listen. Oh, that's the AT4 1500, 2500. It is funny to watch the speedometer go up so quickly. Oh,
Well,
you spun. You did it in
just 'cause
rear wheel
it
drive,
spins,
didn't you,
yeah.
Nathan? Yeah, you got to do it in 4 auto. It's even faster that way.
And 60.
6 seconds.
Was
Yeah.
that actually seemed like longer than 6 seconds?
Oh, I timed it.
That truck didn't feel that fast to me. Is that?
I thought it felt fast.
Yeah, I thought it felt pretty speedy.
But yeah,
It felt like the 1500.
I so many spots because it's so heavy. It's got so much weight on the wheels anyway, and then it spins so easily that everywhere you took off, you just left black marks.
Yeah. It was a neat truck.
I liked it. No, I liked it for just its normal non-Hoonigan things. You know, like I liked just driving it and relaxing, and
I loved hooning it.
it's such a smooth.
The problem is with that truck is
Red
that
truck.
the Ram 2500 exists, and it's so much better.
I've never
That's
driven
true.
Yeah, this,
I've driven it. And it's,
we took a Ram 2500 truck up north and back. For those of you watching, you can see it up on the screen here.
It's like a fire truck.
Yeah, it's a fire engine red with the white wall tires and everything. But it was a 2500 truck, and it rode like we were just driving a normal.
I remember that.
A normal
Hey,
1500.
Peggy.
Yeah, because it's got air suspension. The interior is so nice. And so as much as I like the GMC and it's got good features, I mean, the GM's got the tailgate and the step in the back, I would have the Ram because the Ram was so good.
There's
be
another
in.
thing about that. Before you go away from that photo, the GMC, it looks so ostentatious and big, whereas that just looks like a normal 1500. That's
Yeah,
just
you're
a little
right.
Bigger.
Well, the GMC also doesn't have circular or rounded wheel arches.
So it makes it look chunkier.
chunkier.
Yeah, and the hood is chunkier in the GMC.
I like the look of that Ram though.
Oh yeah, this Ram was great. Not to mention, our father hit it with his
good.
his Tundra. This was the extent of the damage with the metal bumper.
Do you have a photo of the Tundra?
I don't. This was the extent of the
What
damage
happened to
on
the
the
Tundra?
2500 was minor. The Tundra's whole front face got ripped off.
Ooh, let's
Yeah.
find. Nathan's gonna find a picture of that.
Yeah, so-
Have you guys driven the 2022 Ford?
I've driven the newest generation. I have not driven the 22.
Okay. Well, the only change for the 22 is like a bigger infotainment screen and,
Yeah.
and whatnot.
The Fords are quite good as well.
The Ford, and the one I drove was a Lariat, so
Yeah.
it was like nice. But the Ford feels like it's trying really hard to be a luxury vehicle, even when it's in its base form. And the GM, even though it's not trying, it still does better than the Ford at being luxurious, just because it's so smooth and the powertrains are just so
Powertrain's
well done.
really good.
Oh,
GM does
God,
great
it's-
powertrains.
Yeah.
It is a bummer that the seats are not particularly comfortable in that GMC. They're a little hard.
Yeah.
A little sparse.
They do have hidden compartments in the back, though.
They do, don't you know? But it was a good truck, and I could see the cool thing about modern trucks, 1500s, 2500, whatever brand you want, it's a good truck. Honestly, like in general, I mean, they all have their anecdotal problems. Like, I would probably shy away from getting a Ram EcoDiesel because I just hear they have a lot of issues, even though I like the powertrain.
Yeah.
But if you want a Ram, get a Ram. If you want a Ford, get the Ford. And if you want, there's just a lot of different. They're all good. If you want a Toyota, as long as you don't want tow hooks on the front, then get a Toyota. If you want a Nissan, buy something else.
I've just emailed you a photo of the Tundra of the aftermath.
Okay. Which email?
Raspberries.
Okay, should be getting it soon. Yeah, it was rough. But no, it was a pretty truck.
It was nice looking.
Chris, have you ever watched the video of Charlie and I racing the Colorado versus the side-by-side?
No. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. That was...
How did he...
It was not great. It's because he was backing
That
up.
happened in the driveway?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like he hit something going 50 miles an hour.
I know. He was just driving driveway speeds. This was what the Ram looked like, and that is what the Tundra looked like.
Wow. That, bad mark for Toyota.
I know. Yeah. Well, and part of it is, I think, because of the angle, because he was backing up. So he caught this rear bumper with the front bumper of his truck, tearing it off. But the heavy-duty Ram truck...
The Ram's fine.
Yeah. It just had a little tiny dent, and the bumper was pulled a little bit. But the Tundra's entire front lower bumper is an insurance claim. It got pulled off. It messed up the fender a little bit.
Fender, headlight, bumper, the hood even looks like it got nicked a little. The grill. Was he very disappointed in himself?
He was. It was a tough dad moment.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
quite a hit there.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Alyssa. Oh, that's my mother.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Nice. I hope Alyssa's not listening.
So 2500 GMC, good car?
Yeah.
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 I'm fine with good car on that. This week at Daily Motor HQ.
I don't know what we have. Oh, the Tuscan and the M3.
Yeah.
No
Tuscan.
M. You should take solace in this one, Nathan. That no fake M badges. Actually, there will be a lot of fake M badges.
Yeah, because it's got the M Sport and the M
package.
Sport Package Pro.
But it's not like the M240i that it's in the model name.
No, it's just a
This is just a 230i. Yep. Nathan will now see himself out
The headphone cord's going to get ripped out.
to commit genocide on anyone with fake M or AMG or S badges. But no, it's the 230i BMW. I'm quite looking forward to having it around because I am of the uninformed opinion that this is the 2 Series to have over the M240i. Because the M240i is great. So I could very well be proven wrong, but this one's rear-wheel drive as opposed to all-wheel. It's $10,000 cheaper. Mm-hmm. And it should still have what is it, almost 300 horsepower?
I think it's like 260 or 280.
255.
Ooh, I was close.
But it's BMW horsepower, so that means it's
255 wheel.
Yeah, 255 wheel. And what's the torque? RQE. 295 pound-feet of twist out of that thing. And that's probably happening at that's at 1,500 RPM. You're getting max torque.
It's going to be a quick little unit there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so
we have driven it, but briefly.
Right, and we drove it, and that thing still got right over triple digits quite quickly.
Yeah.
The only downside is you're not getting the good sound of the inline 6. So that's a bit of a bummer.
What is it like? I think it's the
It's a 4-cylinder.
The N20 in that thing still.
Yeah, it's a
Which
great
is
motor.
a Mini Cooper engine.
It's a 2-liter.
Yeah, it's a 2-liter inline 4, but trust me, when you drive it, you'll be like, oh, this is a fun. BMW, I think, makes the best 2-liter turbo on the market.
I think it's just crazy that we're in a world where, like, my Explorer has a 4-liter and it makes like 220 horsepower.
Right. Yeah, this is making 255 and 300 pound-feet of torque out of a 2-liter turbo.
Nope. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, so
it's kind of a heavy car, 3,500 pounds.
BMWs are porky. Yeah, gotta have
heavy.
Yeah,
that is heavy.
That's heavy.
It's a 2 Series.
Yeah,
it should be like 3,000 pounds.
I know everything's heavy these days.
Yeah,
yeah. Even that GT4 RS I drove, a track Focus to 3,200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's quote unquote light.
I would have guessed like 29,
I know.
28, 29. That's like, I think my Cayman's under 3,000.
Oh yeah,
I wanna
no, cars
say.
have gotten heavy as of recent. Well, BMWs are weighed down by those turn signals that they had to install in the mid 2010s.
Oh, true.
I was thinking
It's all the dust buildup on the turn.
On the turn signal stuff.
You know how your dad's F-150 had an electrical meltdown, and my mother's new Edge had an electrical meltdown. You know how Hoovie's garage, how he always buys 10-year-old luxury cars that have just a million problems with them. I wonder if soon all cars are going to be like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, especially anything from the late 2000s, early 2010s.
Oh, God.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine 2021 F-150s in 10 years?
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
just
it's gonna
going to
be a
be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My dad's is a nightmare, and it's not even, well, it's about a year old.
The other thing
It's
is
just horrible.
some manufacturers are going to engineer their cars such that the electronics are all required to work properly for the car to work properly.
Yeah.
And other manufacturers are going to choose the route of their sort of secondary. So if your radio infotainment is not really working, you still use the rest of the car, if you will. And those will be the cars to buy and own long term. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, at least like my Maverick, shit. I mean, if there's barely any electronics to go wrong, that's a 2022. But
Mavericks will be
Well,
around.
you
for a
don't
while.
know. It's a Ford. They could have engineered an atomic bomb in there somehow.
I'm so scared of Fords now. Like,
Me too. It's just...
there's just there's so many factors. Well, the first one is actually obtaining it because they don't
you're
make
right. It's
enough.
hard to get them. Well, they all sit around in jail for
And
3
they
months
sit
before they
there,
get delivered.
yeah.
Is that your foot? What is this?
No.
Oh, it's just a bunch of shit under the desk. I thought I was
So
playing footsie
I went
with
on
you.
to Toyota's website to see if there are any good lease deals on a new Tundra, or not a 2021 Tundra, the previous gen.
And the answer is no.
I was filling out the options list, and it said you can only have one exterior color and one interior color because everything else is gone.
Yep.
I went on to Skidoo's website, and it said, sorry, you cannot get the new 10-inch touchscreen display because it's already gone.
Yeah. The world's going to shit. Can't get anything anymore.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Ford-
Worst timeline ever.
$4
Can't buy anything.
for gas. The World War III.
I
Gosh,
want
like, what? First, $4 gas. Second, World War III. In that order.
Nathan. People are dying. Stop
but
worrying about
$4
gas
gas.
prices. Yeah. Right.
No, I'm
Or
sa-
people listening
I know,
in California
I know.
are like, we're paying $7 a gallon for premium right now, and I'm going to blow my fucking
I was just saying these are the crazy things going on. in the
Oh yeah,
world.
no, totally.
And-
I wish I could have a BMW E38 7 Series for less than $4,000, but that's just not possible anymore unless it's non-running. Those used to be like $300.
So let's remind everyone of the hierarchy. $4 gas, World War III,
No, that's
BMW 7 Series being too expensive. In that order.
Ascending order or descending
Doesn't
order?
matter.
no. I think that you can't get the new touchscreen on the Skidoo should go above World War III.
Yeah.
that's a much bigger problem.
I think you're right.
Why do you need a touchscreen on what is it?
Yeah,
a jet ski?
no, snowmobile.
Oh.
Does the touchscreen work with gloves?
Yeah,
Oh.
Why
that's
do you need
pretty
a
cool.
touchscreen on a snowmobile?
Are the buttons large enough so if you got big gloves, like you're not pressing 4 buttons at once?
there are no buttons.
No, like the touch screen. I meant like the icons on the touch screen.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
Fair enough. You can't get them, so I guess it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
So it's a completely
Companies are
irrelevant.
just going to start announcing products that are really cool and then never deliver. It's pretty much what
it's like
Tesla does.
And Ford.
So Yamaha is coming out with their new lineup and some new models
Really? It's
on
about
the
time.
22nd. I was watching
22nd
their
of this
teaser
month?
video. The amount of people that were pissed in the comment section that they haven't gotten their 2022s yet.
And they're already announcing 23s.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
No,
like-
it's
yeah.
it's rough.
It's like Ford with the Maverick Hybrid. We've made this fantastic hybrid truck. It's $19,000, and we're gonna make 17 of them. So get your orders in now.
In the snowmobile world, there's certain trims you can only get in the spring.
You have a
And
month to
so
order them. And if you don't order them, then they go away.
Everyone orders them in the spring, but they've gone a whole season without having a
sled.
snowmobile. And
Well, we know Mike Levine and Jim Farley are both listening to this podcast from Ford. So let's shift our hate away from Ford and mention another Stellantis vehicle caught on fire.
Oh yes. So I was on TikTok yesterday,
Surprise.
and I sent Charlie a video of a Grand Cherokee that combusted.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what the problem probably was? It must have had tires in it.
Oh,
Because as we
that's
learned from the
right.
Ypsilanti Township Fire Department,
Yeah,
tires
or-
combust when
or
they're
it had
on their
over
side.
it had over a gallon of gas in the tank.
That could have been it as well.
what
If-
it was.
Word to the wise: if you have any car with over a gallon of gas, it will combust.
Yep. Or tires that aren't stored tread down. They spontaneously combust.
Yep.
You know what's funny today?
What?
I filled my Explorer up with 22 gallons of gas.
And has it caught on
God.
fire?
no.
Wow.
That's interesting. That's
Huh.
very weird.
It must because
Because-
you don't have a Chrysler badge on it.
Either that or my tire. I don't have tires in the back.
That could be it
It's
too.
strange because whenever I put over a gallon of gas in my car, I have to go get a new one.
Because it blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I do have a spare Chrysler badge sitting around for my minivan. Maybe I should give it to you and see if we'll just set it on the Explorer and see if it catches on fire.
No, I've got a better idea. Let's set it on the Venza.
And see if that one catches
No,
on.
no. Let's set it on the fire marshal's car.
There we
When he
go.
shows up. Let's
that
go stick
little-
a Chrysler.
probably
Little
catch on
like
fire.
Uno reverse card action there.
No, you.
Let's put more than a gallon of gas in his
In his truck.
truck and see if it combusts.
Sir, that thing can't get over 20 miles per gallon. How did you get here?
Do you think the fire department just drives around and puts gas in their trucks every like 6 miles?
They're not allowed to return home at the end of the day unless they've run their car down below
hold
1
on a
gallon of
second.
fuel.
The fire department parks fire trucks inside.
They must all have less than a gallon of fuel.
So they must park all the fire trucks with less than a gallon of fuel.
So if you're going to have a fire, make sure you don't live more than 10 miles or so from the fire department, because the fire trucks will not get there.
they won't make it.
So for those of you
That's
to
a
fill you
very
in,
interesting point. We should ask him tomorrow about that.
should.
I'm sure he would love that.
our building,
I'm
DMHQ,
going to
is...
use the potty and I will flush
Thank you.
afterwards.
Or else, because you only have 3 flushes left before you get executed.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, DMHQ is getting their second round of fire inspection, and the 2 things we were told that we had to do from the fire marshal is 1, no cars could be stored with more than a gallon of gas in them, and 2, no tires could be stored unless they were stored on their tread, not on their sides.
Yeah.
We cannot figure out the justification for either of them, so let us know in the comments if you know why that would be either of those would be a thing.
Yeah, the one that really just blows me away is the tires being stored tread down. I
tires.
genuinely cannot think of a single thing. The only thing I've been able to halfway fathom is that if there were a fire and you had to move tires out of the way, because I guess tires are flammable, yeah, because they're rubber. Are tires flammable? I don't know. If you had to then move the tires, if there was already a fire big enough that you couldn't control, you could then roll the tires out of the way of the fire. That's the only thing I can think of.
Right.
And like, why is that even a big deal?
I have no clue. I really don't. I'm going to ask him tomorrow.
I cannot wait to hear his answer. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be that.
Right.
Honestly, because I can't think of anything else.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
So I expect the 230i to be a good car, even if it's not better than the M240i. I mean, I know it's not going to be better from an objective standpoint,
Yeah.
but I mean of like which would I buy?
Yeah.
Because you could get into a quite fun 230i for less than 40 grand. That's below the average transaction price of a car.
Yeah.
A car.
And you get a BMW.
Right, exactly. You can probably lease it for a firm handshake as well.
You think so?
No, a little bit more.
Should
Maybe
go have a
firm
2 Series.
handshake plus $350
I like the
a month.
2 Series.
But I like the 2 Series too. It's a good
Yeah.
car. And it looks different than all the other BMWs, which I appreciate.
Yeah. A lot of people hate it,
Yeah,
which I don't understand, because
They are the
I mean-
same type who store their tires to try to.
that's true. Well, hold on a second.
Oh, we're getting a visitor.
Yeah.
Chris is going to see who it is. Who is it? Housekeeping?
want any.
Housekeeping? I come in anyway.
It's the fire chief.
It's the
Check your tires.
Make sure they're
No
tread
tires,
down,
tires.
ass up. That's the way that you don't catch things on fire.
What was I going to say? Oh, because I think the 2 Series looks better than the 4 Series,
Which is a 3 Series.
which is
With 2 doors.
just the 2-door version.
Unless you get a Grand
of
Coupe.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
the difference between a 3 Series and a 4 Series Grand Coupe?
The 4 Series Grand Coupe has frameless doors and it's a hatchback.
So really it's the better car to have.
Yeah. Well, the 4 Series Grand Coupe is the 4-door version of the 2-door version of the 4-door car.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would anyone get a 3 Series and instead just get a 4 Series Grand Coupe?
I think it's more expensive.
Fair enough. So those frameless doors cost more.
No, what everyone needs right now is the new Hyundai Ioniq Blue.
Yes.
That gets 60
Best
miles per
car.
gallon.
I was waiting maybe for one time we go a whole podcast without mentioning the Hyundai Ioniq Blue.
No, it won't happen.
It's never
We could
gonna
rename the podcast the Hyundai Ioniq Blue Podcast.
I've never even seen one of those.
No, they don't put them in press fleets because they never give us base cars. The Blue is a base.
Oh.
Yeah. Every hybrid car, it's actually every car in their lineup, that's the base is the blue.
It's the Blue.
And what's cool about the incentive to get the base model is you get the best fuel economy.
Do you know what the main problem is with the Hyundai Ioniq, though? Is that you can't buy the plug-in in Michigan. So fuck Hyundai. Seriously, they don't. You're not allowed to buy the plug-in or the all-electric.
That was very strong. Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Because they're stupid. They store their tires tread down.
Oh.
And all Hyundais are stored in the factory with less than a gallon.
Could that be why Kias and Hyundais are being
catching
recalled
on
for fires?
For fires,
because
yes.
their treads are down. You know what they need to do? Install their wheels on.
Like sideways?
Yeah.
Like a hover car? That's probably
No,
it.
because that means it would catch on fire.
Oh wait,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
darn it.
They must have more than a gallon of fuel in them. So if you own a
Oh,
Hyundai
yeah.
or Kia product
Yeah.
that is catching on fire, put it out and then
Are
drive
those
it.
catching it? Those are catching on
Yeah, it's a
fire.
big
It's
recall.
like the Santa Fe, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Santa SUV.
Santa.
The other car we've got this week,
Hyundai Tucson.
Hyundai Tucson plug-in hybrid.
I don't like the name Tucson.
The fuck do you mean you don't like the name Tucson?
Is it because you've been saying Tucson up till just now?
It's just something about. I just can't not think of the bird and a jungle when I.
That's a
think,
toucan. That's the Fruit Loops
Well,
bird.
No, you're thinking of the Porsche car.
That's the
all-electric
Taycan.
No, you're thinking of the pencil that you use in the wooden
That's
pencil.
the
in
Dixon
class.
Taycan Carrera.
I just can't not think of that.
Why does Hyundai always name their cars after cities?
Because they want you to have visuals of nice, warm, pleasant places.
Is it 'cause when
Santa
they-
Fe,
when they
Tucson,
host press
Kona,
events, they're like,
that
yes.
too. Although they've pigeonholed themselves with the Hyundai Kona because they have to fly everyone to Hawaii every time. It's Kona's in Hawaii.
Is that
Oh,
actually
really?
what they do?
the very first launch, the first drive of the new Kona was in Hawaii.
I'm sure the natives loved that.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they liked the money that they got from
That's
it.
true.
So they can shut the fuck up.
Jesus.
Demonetized. Welcome to CNN, Daily.
Native Hawaiians don't flush the toilet when they leave.
Hey, Bev could be listening.
Well, she moved so that she can flush toilets.
She does live here now.
Yes. Bev also drives a Mazda 3.
Mazda Speed 3.
Mazda Speed 3.
Yeah,
So
very
she's
cool car.
one of the best cars.
No,
Mazda Speed 3?
no.
That's a
Good
great
car.
car.
The dismal car.
What?
All
What?
Mazdas.
We need a boo.
Boo. That's good enough.
All Mazdas are dismal.
All right, we're turning Nathan's mic down now.
You just this is a dictatorship.
This is not a democracy.
Mazdas are great cars.
I am the only car person in the world that doesn't like. The only Mazda I like is the Miata.
I
That's
love
it.
Mazdas.
Every Mazda drives great.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah, but
good
the
cars.
problem is Mazdas. Actually, no. It's a good thing that they run down bikers.
Oh God! And this is another topic that comes up every podcast is Charlie's ex-girlfriend that killed a man.
I thought she may have been on the plane that I was on Wednesday. I kept looking back
way.
because
That's karma.
The problem with masks is you can't fully identify anyone anymore.
Yeah, that's
I kept looking back. It definitely looked like her, but there wasn't a dead man laying next to her. So
Okay.
couldn't have been her.
She's like in the shadows because she listens to the podcast and she's like heard you slander her name.
Yeah, the only 4 listeners
She's like-
is the CEO of Ford, my ex-girlfriend, and
Now Hawaii-
hopefully not Alyssa.
Now
Yeah.
native
Beverly.
Hawaiians.
Yeah, and Bev Braga.
Yeah.
Yep.
Braga, Hashtag Braga Belly.
Yep. Anyway, Mazdas are good. Don't listen to Nathan.
No.
They're all excellent cars. But Chris,
No.
you still haven't driven a CX-9, have you?
I have
The
not driven
CX-9 is garbage.
The CX-9 is excellent.
It's garbage.
Garbage.
It drives like a boat. It literally.
It does
it's-
not.
It's the biggest.
It's a 3-row
boat.
SUV.
No,
Of course it's
not.
gonna drive like a boat.
And the window line is all the way up here, so you feel like you're sitting. You feel
Just,
like
just get rid of them. Oh,
you feel like you're sitting down, and like you're a mouse sticking its head up out of a hole. You can't see anything. You can't see anything backing up. The infotainment is horrible. The interior is laid out like airplane crash debris, to quote Doug DeMuro. And the owners will come and break into your house.
the CX-9 is a good car.
No.
Let us know
And
in
they
the
haven't
comments.
changed it. The
That's
other
because
thing
it's
about,
good. You don't. The 911 hasn't changed in 60 years because it's excellent. Give
Yeah,
Chris his
it
mic
was
back.
excellent from the beginning. It was excellent from the beginning.
And so it never had to change. It's the same with the CX-9.
No, well, the other thing about the CX-9 is it's wedged in the front. So if you ran down someone, say a biker, they would be split in half because
That's
an accident.
intentional.
Should we show that tweet that I showed you last week?
Which one was that?
The guy that said that all GMCs are death machines because you can't see toddlers when you're sitting in them if they're on top of you.
Oh
point
yeah,
blank.
someone tweeted that he had a GMC Sierra. Nathan, did you see this?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Chris.
I can pull it up.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring it up on here. Tell me what to search, and I'll bring it up so I can bring it up quickly.
Can I just send you the link to it?
Yeah, send it to my email, whatever email you want.
I forgot what.
So the Hyundai Tucson, it should be a pretty good car. We've driven the Tucson in all its various forms. This one's the plug-in hybrid, though. I'm quite excited. It's got a good amount of usable plug-in range. The only problem is it doesn't have a volume knob, but at least it has the physical rocker on the steering wheel, so that helps.
What's your email? I've never emailed you from this email, I guess.
All right, Charles.
Oh, okay. I thought I was
you
going
go.
to send it to the one.
No, it's fine. I got both up.
Oh.
Did you turn my mic back up?
Yes, it's on.
Okay, good.
Yes. What else about that? Honestly, I will be curious what sort of highway fuel economy we get with the Tucson. It should be over 30. By the way, are you coming up north with us this weekend?
With you, I don't know yet.
Do you have gluten?
No, I'm just hungry.
That's the first time you've treated us to one of those on here.
Yeah, you like that? We're over 10 episodes. I don't give a fuck anymore. Kill everyone.
And we're 46 minutes in, so there's like one person listening. All right, I just emailed that to you.
Okay. All right, Nathan, you'll get a kick
Okay,
out of this,
so-
and I'll read it to everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's a tweet from a fellow named Jason. He says, I would like to ask at GMC, is that how you properly read a tweet? Truck
You say
engineer
at GMC.
to explain with a straight face how this is safe. Keep in mind my kid is 4 inches up on a curb, so even less visibility if she were crossing a street. There's no surviving impact by this truck, even at slow speeds. Truly sociopathic.
I'm just confused because you can still see the child when you're driving up on them at the crosswalk.
Yeah.
The only time you don't see them is if they're quite literally point blank. So they would have to spawn in front of you.
Or run out in front of you. Because if they're like right there, then on the sidewalk, you still wouldn't see them.
Yeah, the issue he seems to have is the fact that when his toddler is standing, I'd say about 1.5 feet from the front of his truck, he cannot see her.
That's not his truck.
Or whatever truck it is. But the thing is, there's a Volkswagen Atlas in the background that nearly has the same height hood. And like Chris was saying, how often are things directly in front of you immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I will tell you the one thing I was thinking about, that is a GMC, that is a death trap for other motorists.
What?
The new Hummer EV.
How so?
It weighs 9,000 pounds and it can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. Could you imagine?
Yeah, you could obliterate someone with that thing.
That is
could you-
true.
If you pulled out and just boom, I mean, it literally weighs
It'll
more
happen.
than twice the
It's
weight of
gonna
my
happen
Explorer.
for sure.
Did you read this reply to himself? For those of you that doubt the homicidal intent of these assault vehicles, listen to the actual words from the designer of this truck. Quote, "We spent a lot of time making sure that when you stand in front of this thing, it looks like it's going to come get you."
Imagine having that much time. Imagine having as much time as this guy.
Yeah. The other thing is this truck is certainly filled with autonomous braking software that
That's
if it
also
sees
true.
something in front of it, it's going to hit the brake.
Here's another
There's a
tip.
camera on the GMC badge.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's another tip. How bad of a parent would you have to be to let your kid run out and fight?
Well,
your
I know
kid outside?
kids run out. They're
I know,
stupid.
I know, but that is a like 3-year-old child. Like not even. That kid is like 2 years old.
Well, and the other thing, there have been vehicles for the last 20 years. What did Ford Excursion? Like there are tons of semi trucks. Like there are tons of vehicles that have large grills.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Just have a bit of a green face there.
Yeah,
It's Shrek.
the guy can't even dress her right. Look, she's got one pant leg up, one pant leg down. She's wearing a rag
I just think
and a
it's
Harry Potter scarf.
I think it's funny how dramatic he is. Truly sociopathic.
Yeah,
an
the end of his
assault
tweet.
vehicle.
Truly
sociopathic.
Good
Truly.
The other thing, seriously though, with the Hummer, like it took me a little bit to really wrap my brain around the physics behind that. Because imagine 2 of my Explorers. It's actually what it is it's my Explorer towing a boat that weighs 1,000 pounds more than the Explorer. And imagine if you're in, say, like a Hyundai Tucson or in BMW M series, something of that weight coming barreling down the road and that high up hitting the side of your car, you would be instantly dead.
Instant death.
Extra dead.
Just like the people who don't flush the toilets.
That is Charlie's case. If you run for president, that will be your campaign.
That would be my platform. Yep.
Public executions for people who don't flush the toilet.
Yep. Yeah.
Or
Well,
people
and many more things.
Yeah,
I will
like,
add more.
Like people that leave their carts out at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
100%. Yeah. You get
Instant death.
well three strikes. I'm not a maniac.
3 strikes. 2 strikes.
All right. So if Chris is my running mate,
There's
be
just
careful.
no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse.
When I was door dashing, a lot of times I wouldn't even need a cart, but I just take 2 carts and push them with one hand and put them back in the cart thing because I just feel bad for those cart,
Yeah.
especially when
You just
they
saved
leave.
somebody's life.
That's always the excuse.
One
is-
time there was a cart pushed in the Tesla supercharger parking spot. And
Probably
that's
a Tesla
way over
owner.
there.
Right?
Yeah, probably a Tesla
there are
owner
some
that-
horrible people out there.
Freaking narcissistic people, dude. You can't.
There are enough Teslas now that you can't fully judge. Like
I'm not judging Tesla owners.
you're
I'm
just
judging
saying
people that leave their
do-
cart out.
Oh, narcissistic.
Not
yes,
Tesla
yes,
owners. No,
yes, you're right.
people that leave their cart out they don't care about other people.
Right. So we'll let you know on the Tucson. I expect it to be pretty good. I expect it to not be outstanding like the RAV4 Prime, but maybe on par with the Ford plug-in, the Escape.
It'll be
Escape?
better than the Escape.
You think so?
Yeah.
You know, the Escape is actually one of the most efficient. I think I read somewhere.
I just don't like the Escape.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a shame. I liked it at first, but I don't really care much for it anymore.
There's nothing.
I like the Bronco Sport.
There's nothing about it. Yeah. Well, the
I
Bronco
love
Sport
the
is-
Escape. Actually,
The new one?
I preferred it more to
He
the
must not
RAV4
have cut his
Prime.
hand on the door pull
Yeah, it's
or the
true.
turn signal stock.
That's fine. Yeah. It did drive. It was a little more live. It
was just boring.
light-footed.
I was trying to
Yeah,
think
it
of
is very-
another
very
car.
light car.
My Volvo. The Volvo that we had, you know, the like silvery bit around on the trim.
Oh yeah,
that
those
would
can have
kind of
sharp edges.
break off.
Yeah.
And then literally, the first time I drove it after we got it, I sliced my finger open on it.
All right. Anything else about the cars we drove?
No, but I have some Copart things for you.
All right. On to the Copart section.
I'll just have you type in a lot. You could probably type in a lot number up there, can't you?
Well, I'll bring up my watch list here real quick.
Oh yeah, I guess you.
There's still a Ford C-Max.
You have so many cars on your watch list.
That's been sitting in Flint and the buy it now price has been lowered consistently. It's down to $4,400, and all we know is that the damage is mechanical.
Probably needs a hybrid battery. That's like what I'm guessing.
But if it still runs, because it does say runs and drives.
Maybe the engine's knocking.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, at that point, like, you could just drive it for that. This I thought was interesting. It's a Yamaha side by side.
Ooh, very cool. Looks like it flipped over.
It goes up for sale later this week. But look, it seems totally drivable still.
Has a flat tire.
Yeah.
I thought you could flip those and just like
Yeah,
flip them back over.
it's
and
got a
they're
whole roll
fine.
cage. Right.
So why did they do an insurance claim for that?
I do not know. Yeah, but it's pure sale. Current bid $35. Runs and drives. So
Let's have it.
Yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that.
Oh,
I think they opened that intentionally because look, it's closed here.
yeah, but why is it? It looks like it was underwater, which I guess
No.
is fine. Are those waterproof?
Not
mostly?
waterproof, but I think it runs. I mean, yeah,
Look at the angle of the windshield.
I know.
That's why they claimed it, because it's
Yeah,
fricked
they
up.
probably think it's like structural. So that's what I'm looking at. There's also the Phaeton that we brought up earlier. Unfortunately, because it's a salvage title in California, you do have to have a dealer's license to buy it. So we cannot personally.
Does that run? Oh yeah, it does run.
Yep, it's a run and drive, and the buy it now has dropped $50, so it's now $1,450. So if we can be convinced, or if there's a venture capitalist out there that wants to fund our video series of flying to California, getting it and driving it home.
The main thing.
Actually, we'd probably drive to California because we'd need a chase vehicle.
so that's extra gas mileage.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe we
We could
would
just
fly.
get or we could.
We could buy a second car in California, drive them both back.
I'll buy an excursion.
There you go.
Yeah.
It would cost
Why
so
is that
much
funny?
money.
I like the excursion.
Fuel economy.
Oh.
What's the fuel econ? Let me just see.
Google's just gonna say
Look
bad.
up the V10
I'm gonna
gas.
figure out
It
how much it would
costs.
cost to drive a Ford Excursion back.
Look up
Fair enough.
the V10
They're-
gas, because that's the least efficient one, and that's probably what I'd end up with, because
Right.
those are the most common.
So I'm still watching this future bid auction on a 2005 Buick LeSabre Custom with, and I quote, 8,762 original miles.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It does say actual.
It does say actual.
And being that it is a Buick, it is possible.
And it's so clean. It very much looks like an 8,000 mile Buick. It looks showroom new. So I don't know why it's salvaged. I don't know what the deal is, but I will buy this car when it goes up for auction. As long as it doesn't go for over $1,000. So also still watching a Leaf. That's still future.
Why are you watching a Bolt?
Because
you want to burn our... That would actually be a fire hazard in the garage.
But yeah, the fire marshal would probably be totally okay with it. Yeah. It doesn't have gas in there.
Exactly.
And the tires are stored dread down.
Yeah. So that's hit bad.
It is hit very bad, but it looks like it's still drivable. Actually, I probably can't bid on this, can I? No, I can't. So I don't know why I'm watching this.
That'd be a good parts vehicle. You could part that out.
Right.
Make a good amount of money.
All right, we're going to remove that. I am watching a Victory motorcycle.
Ooh.
Yep, it is a run and drive.
Ooh, yes.
The only damage is the side case, which I find hilarious.
That's fabulous. That's
that totaled it out.
That's like one of the bikes you drive around and play your shitty music out of
100%.
for everyone to hear.
Yep.
Would you like to know how much it would cost?
How much?
$894 to
drive an excursion back?
Yep.
That's actually not terrible because you could sleep in it.
Less than shipping it.
Yeah.
Shipping it would probably be double that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, this might be damage as well.
That is also damage. What is that?
That's a lot of damage.
I think it's just missing the plastic.
Are you gonna bid on it?
I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Can you bid on it?
I believe so because it's a certificate of title. Yes, eligible to bid. Pure sale. Current bid $125, but it's a future auction, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Are you gonna Turo that thing or whatever?
Yeah, Twisted Road it.
Yeah, that
probably. Then there's a snowmobile. I'm just lightly watching.
2017.
Yep, Skidoo. Looks like someone has removed the ski by force, but should not be a tough thing to fix because the rest of the sled looks perfectly fine. It's actually not a run and drive, but here's my theory: is I think maybe they're just stupid and didn't know how to start it.
That's true.
That is often my theory on things.
Right, because I mean, how could this not run? Like,
Does it have the key?
It does have the key. It says it has keys. I mean, the sled itself, the rest of it's totally fine. How could it not be running if this is all the damage?
I think a lot of Copart employees just couldn't be bothered to spend more than 30 seconds trying to figure out how to A, locate the battery if something's dead, and B, how to actually start it.
Yeah, because this probably does not have a pull start. And it's probably electric start only. The battery's probably dead, and they're probably like, I am not going to bother getting into this.
Most Porsches that you see on Copart are listed as non-run and drive with no mileage because
getting into the battery is a huge
employees
bitch.
Don't know how to find the battery, or they just
if it's dead, you have to jump the car to get the hood open. There's a lot of steps you have
to do.
Yep. So top tip, Daily Motor top tip. If you want to buy a Porsche from Copart and it says it's not run and drive, it might be incorrect.
Yeah, unless it's like a flood car, it likely runs and drives.
Right.
Unless it's been underwater.
So I'm keeping an eye on this snowmobile as well. And my last item in the watch list is another Bolt, which I hope I can actually.
You just want the garage to burn down.
I want to prove the fire marshal wrong. Look at this color, though. It's a beautiful...
Yeah, go to the back.
Beautiful blue.
It looks really bad.
Ooh,
that is terrible.
What do you mean terrible? That's totally fixable.
The fender's floor.
The fender's totally fine.
The frame's probably butt rammed.
That definitely needs a floor.
You could drive it as is.
You need a floor on that. You
need a floor.
Charlie.
It's totally fine. All the wheels are fine.
The quarter's pushed into the back door. Look at that.
Charlie.
You're being dramatic.
Charlie, imagine the impact that took to do that damage.
Probably got hit at 50
the
miles
batteries.
an hour.
It runs and drives.
Imagine that they're probably idiots. 1 mile down the road, it'll be a pile of flames.
Also, someone's going to pay like $15,000.
That's the more likely criticism.
With how expensive gas is. People are
someone's going to pay a
need an electric car.
Well, if I can get it for less than $1,000, it will be in our garage.
Great. It's okay.
Chris, what am I looking up for you?
The world is coming to an end.
All right.
As we know.
I want you to. Can I give you a lot number?
Sure.
Okay, it is 350 890 02.
Yeah, a Subaru.
Subaru.
Back when they were the Legacy Outback.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Look at the mileage.
38,000 miles.
Wow.
And look, although it says exempt, do you know if that's real?
Yeah, well, I looked at the auto check.
Okay.
Also, look at the location.
Location
in the UP, which means it shouldn't be rusty. I sent this to Keone. We're gonna toss a couple bids on this thing.
Okay. So yeah, it's a 2005 Subaru Legacy Outback 2.5 liter. These were cool. How did someone? Oh, it could have been an old lady car.
It was an old person. Well, I think it's a 2-owner car.
How did they get the interior so dirty in 38,000 miles? Dogs, perhaps?
Probably.
It's an Outback.
The Subaru.
So it's had two
Subarus
owners.
are the easiest cars to work on.
The first
Really?
owner
'Cause you
owned
just
it
pushed them off
for
a cliff?
16. Thank you. The first owner owned it for 16 years.
Okay.
Second
Probably
owner,
an old lady.
9 months and crashed it.
So then she gave it to her daughter.
Probably.
Or granddaughter.
Yeah, probably.
All right, well, it goes up in a few days. I'll be interested to see what happens with that one.
We will be interested. Yeah.
Yeah, it's current bid is at $850. What are you gonna tap out at?
Somewhere around like 1,400 because Keone wants to be under 2,000.
All
Keone
in.
does not have a Copart account, so it's up to me to do this for him.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the theme around the garage. It's up to us to make sure shit runs.
Yeah, right.
I was saying the world's coming to an end because gas is getting super expensive, but all electric cars are catching on fire. So
Yeah. What are you to do?
Can't have shit.
buy a Hyundai Ioniq Blue.
There you go.
472 2491.
5463.
Wait, hold on.
80.
No. Go back.
Mm-hmm.
47222
5483
491.
444
491.
Yep.
JP.
Ooh, look
Okay,
at this. It's
so-
a 2002
Ooh, wow.
Lexus IS 300 Sport Cross,
So-
which means it's the wagon.
That's right. So this is a very rare vehicle. They didn't make very many of these. Unfortunately, they were all automatic, but from 02 to 05, they made a small handful of these cars, and they're very, very coveted by enthusiasts because it's an IS300 wagon, or in Japan was the Altezza Gita, I think it was called. So it's got 208,000 miles on it.
Is this an inline six?
It is.
Same
Yep.
motor as your car?
Yep. Every IS300 from 01 to 05 had the 2JZ 3-liter inline
It's a great
6.
motor.
Yep.
Minor dents and
that one-
scratches.
that one runs and drives. What
Chris, this is
that?
going to go for $20,000.
It's going to go for so much money. What do they have retail? Do they have retail on it? 4,200. It's probably worth more than that. Someone
But
will,
with a rebuilt title, 200,000 miles, that's probably about accurate.
someone will probably pay that for it.
Sure.
Like that is probably what it'll go for.
How high would you go? $2,000?
Yeah, I would pay 2,000.
It's in Georgia, too. Georgia.
So that already had a rebuilt title before it was sent to Copart
Okay.
because it would just say salvage if it wasn't.
All right. Well, when does it go up? Is it future? Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Unfortunate. Well, we'll keep an eye. I'll put this in my watch list.
Yeah, I just thought that was
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool because those do not come up very often. They're very, very rare. I like never see those for sale.
Would you? I assume the answer is no because your car runs so well as it is. But would you consider swapping your manual transmission into the Sport Cross?
No, because that looks clapped and my car is very nice.
Fair enough. Would you consider swapping the wagon onto your car?
Just like sawzalling the wagon. You know, I actually wanted a Sport Cross before
Well,
I
of
got
course
my
you
car.
did.
But they're all automatic, and when I was a teenager, I was like, I have to have a manual. So I got a manual IS300. But if it were now, I probably would have gotten a Sport Cross.
Because now
just
you've
it's
matured
cooler.
into a distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
the Sport Cross is cooler.
The Sport Cross is cool.
It's such a cool car.
Yeah, you just slap your Supreme badge
the
right
last,
here.
yeah,
and-
right. The last one on Bring a Trailer went for so much money. I'm gonna pull that up real quick.
Do you have any more Copart?
Oh yeah, let me give
things
you
to show us?
another.
Give me
I don't
another
know if
number.
I have another good one or not.
All right.
Do you want a smashed BMW with a cheap buy it now? I guess we can look at that.
Okay.
359-53042.
2007 BMW 328i. More like a
No.
328 I do not want.
Yeah,
It's only
that is-
$900.
That is the worst BMW ever made in history.
It's a
Well, I don't know
terrible-
if that's true.
I don't like E90s really.
Yeah.
I've owned a couple.
so
They're
garbage.
not really good cars.
The,
They look cool, but they're not.
the steering is the worst steering ever put into any car.
Okay,
so
here's
heavy.
here's a question for you both.
It's like steering an Alfa Romeo 4C in a parking lot.
if you had to live with one of these two cars for an entire year as your only means of transportation, would you have an E90 2007 BMW 3 Series or an E60 5 Series of the same generation?
E60.
Probably the E60.
Yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
Oh, so you
I don't-
two
I
do
don't
not
like
value
either.
getting to your destination.
I don't like either car, but I think the E60 would be a little bit more practical because it's bigger.
The problem
More
with
things
that, they have no character whatsoever. Those cars.
I disagree
Yeah, they
with
do.
that.
They do.
They're so bland.
I don't think
I just
so.
I just drove a 335i. You'll see that on the Topher channel here in, well, who knows,
I
a
don't
week
think
or
it has
two.
any character.
And I think that car drives. It has more character than a new BMW
I think that's true.
because you actually have steering feel at speed. I will agree
Right.
with you. At low speeds, it's dreadful. It's terrible. But when you're actually at speed, you have good steering feel. And with that the steering in those cars.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, you could get a manual in just about
And you could
everything.
have a
and
manual.
a wagon.
Yeah, and
And a hardtop convertible.
the 335i was a twin turbo inline six.
Yes.
Even back then.
That way you could get to breaking down faster.
That's right. Okay, so the last Sport Cross on Bring a Trailer had 47,000 miles on it. Would you
Ooh.
like to guess how much it sold for?
15.
Nathan?
Oh, what is it?
A 2002 Lexus IS300 Sport Cross, so a wagon,
34.
with 47,000 miles. You're saying 34?
34.
It's right in between you guys. $26,500 for a IS300.
Somebody paid that much for a 20-year-old base Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
Not base, but like essentially base.
And
How much?
That's why we're heading into a recession, because people lost their minds.
$26,000. The last manual IS300 went for quite a bit too. I got to find that.
You know what car I would love to have, because I did have one and I liked it quite a bit.
Vehicle Sabre.
No, I have not had a vehicle Sabre.
Ford Focus ST.
I want a
SUV.
Lexus LS. And what I'd really like to
And
get,
spend all of your money on gas.
I want the Lexus LS hybrid. They made a hybrid.
So you want to burn in flames.
No, Lexuses don't catch on fire. They're actually fireproof.
Really?
Yes.
You know, E90s catch on fire. That was a big thing. They had like 3 recalls that all were like, if you don't fix this, your car could catch on fire.
Just don't buy German cars, bottom line. German cars.
German cars.
But German cars are the most, unless you're like Hoovy and like to break down.
Does this mean there's no hybrids if they all say gas for fuel type?
I would take that with a grain of salt. Think about the people that are listing these cars on Copart.
Touche. Yes, I once bought an LS 460 on Copart, and I quite liked it, but I ended up selling it. And the tough thing with
It was
big
too
sedans
damaged.
is it's just there's no reason to have one.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting a car that's that large,
It's that low fuel
economy, you might
I
as well
like
have an
those.
SUV.
What is that?
It's an LS 460.
Well, I know
it's
it
an
is.
07. This is the best looking
4.6.
generation, I think.
I disagree with that. I don't think those are the best.
I love the way these look.
First gen LS.
I think those look
Super
good,
cool.
but I would have.
Well, you know, those look better than the one before those.
Yes,
The ones
exactly.
before those were a little ugly.
Oh my God! Look at these fucking wheels. Jesus, there
One-
are some donks
one
on this
pothole.
LS.
Look at the back
One
wheel. It's like
pothole
off.
and you're
Oh,
dead.
it's cambered.
Hey,
sort
that's
of.
damaged just like yours was.
It was somewhat, yes. But mine didn't have horrendous wheels on it. You know what the interesting thing is the LX of this generation had like the same headlight design. 2007.
Those are $1 million for an LX.
I know you got to go even newer, I guess. 2010. Yeah, you see,
Is it the same headlight?
it's very, very similar, yes. And let's go. And I appreciated that they tried to have parity between the LX and the LS. Because one was like the sedan version. Oh, why are these photos so small? Very, very similar design. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's similar.
But it's very
Like
similar.
The diamond shape.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, tune in next week to see if we buy something stupid off Copart. Tune in next week to see if the 230i is better than the 240i. Also, tune in next week to see if we've been kicked off the internet for threatening to kill a lot of people, frankly.
Yeah, like that guy's kid. Jason.
And make sure you flush your toilets.
Yeah, and don't leave your card out.
And shout out to Grove Studios for letting us film our podcast here.
Yep. And all brand cereals.
All brand cereal, Daily Motor podcast, actually sponsored by Kellogg's All Brand Cereal.
Yeah.
If you need to shit, eat all
You
brand.
better flush it.